Aster.Aries win. God only knows what's going to happen. But, either way, I just hope for a good game, John.
I think it's going to be a fantastic game off the bat. I think there's no doubt about that. You've got the Core IO making its appearance again. I'm really interested to see how Miracle goes off. He's already queued up his Dominator, as you tend to do on Core IO. So you're gonna have that IYD on the Slark mid as well. Like, I mean, it's not so strange, right? You do see the Slark mid every now and again. It's just you don't really expect it. So that lane matchup against a last pick Brood, there are ways to kind of go around it. At the same time, there's a lot of ways for that Brood to really punish it. So it's going to be interesting to see just how far IYD takes this Slark. I don't expect it to be the most amazing lane against something like the Brood, but you have ways of clearing out those Spiderlings with your Dark Pact, so I suppose there is that to sort of try to force out from Brood.
Now, that's the idea behind it, I'm guessing, is just max Dark Pact and run at the Spiderlings over and over again. I believe Max Dark Pact will deal with every single one, whether they are the small ones or the large spiders, so should be interesting to see. I'm more intrigued about this Core IO. Yeah, I hate casting Core IO, John, because I have no idea what's going on. I don't know how these plays make it work. I don't want to pretend I know what's going on here, so it's all up to you, buddy. You'll have to do the explaining with the IO pick here for Miracle. Then
Yeah,
again, I can't doubt the man, though, John. He's been playing a
oh no.
fantastic safe lane.
Oh, that he has. I'd say he really has started to shine, especially compared to T1's past performances. They're doing a lot better here, and Miracle's performance has been a lot more consistent. The core IO is a lot more tempo-based, so the rush to Dominator, you teeter up your creep, you run around, you get some damage off. There's a lot of durability the IO has as well, so it's all about playing hard and fast. Your scaling is really on IYD down the line, but early on IO is scary when you give it enough farm, and we'll just see how far Miracle can take it. His lane with Jokam is pretty potent. IO plus Tusk is a pretty gnarly combo once you get enough levels up. There's a lot of damage that can fly through. You're gonna have to watch your spacing there if you're Aries. Don't underestimate this one, because there can be a lot more coming out here. It's just Miracle right now has gone for a bit of a greedier build, going for Crown first with one shared Tango. There is a Salvin Jokam with 6 Tangos, so looks like they're going to have to balance out that region if they do go for some early aggression or at least early posturing here.
Sharing is caring, John. I'm sure they're happy to share. Shengxi, I'm on the Centaur here, going to be up against this Core IO. Of course, Rico going to be there with him on the Rubik. See if they can slow Miracle down. I personally haven't had the pleasure of casting his IO in the safe lane throughout these group stages yet, so it's a bit hard to know what to expect, but like I said, he's been having a fantastic time in that safe lane as of late. I don't doubt he'll make it work. Then again, how can I doubt the Broodmother? It's the big spider.
Yeah, it's a terrifying back and forth. There's so much from these drafts that are explosive. They've got a lot of timings that cover each other's bases. It's kind of wacky, but those runes.
They're going at it. LWW, he popped the battery assault. Shengxi. Jokam, he'll use the tag team now with a great scatter blast, but Jokam is taking too much damage and he will be the one to go down.
Ooh.
Perhaps just overestimating the tag team damage.
Yeah, it's rather unfortunate. It looked like they almost had enough damage to take LWW out, but it wasn't quite enough to finish him up. So the Clockwork gets a free reset, goes back home, TP's back in. You're off to a fantastic start here if you're Aries, and yeah, you can really start to take control in this lane. Like, you already know that the Tusk has tag team. There's just not enough damage at level 1. You've got to wait for a bit more to really max that out here.
That you do it. They're definitely not going to go now as to, like, Jokam and Miracle. They're not going to have the damage output to take out this Centaur. Perhaps Rico, but Rico will keep his distance. Of course, down at the bot lane, Polison is going to be there on the Snapfire with Sam H on the Venomancer. They'll be up against Haru on the Spectre and, of course, LWW on the Clockwork. And I feel very, very sorry for Haru in this laning phase, John. He's going to have to go up against this Veno and Snap. it is just a really annoying lane to have to be up against.
Yeah, it's just super cancerous, considering the fact that you've got two melee heroes as well. Like, even your support's melee, so it's harder for LWW to come in, to try to force some space out for the spec. All they can really hope for is some missteps from T1, which you really shouldn't expect too much, and that will keep these supports tied in. Like, this is going to free up that mid lane without any early rotations. That does help out Phoenix on the mid. You know, this Broodmother is just having a pretty good start. A lot of denies coming out from IYD is kind of slowing that down. Once you hit that level 3 mark, once you can start to rotate into your camp and clearing it out effectively, that's when the snowball really starts for this Brood Mama mid.
Does. In Your Dream has not used any of those skill points yet, apart from the one in Essence Shift. He is holding out to see if he does need that Dark Pact, which he definitely probably will. But he's testing the waters, and there we go. He's not going to hold out any longer. He'll level it up. Level 2 not going to be quite enough to take the spiders down. Level 3 should start doing it. But until then, Phoenix should be relatively safe unless you do that. Does lose a few spiderlings, but we'll get some decent harassment back the way of In Your Dream and might actually get a kill. No. Ooh. The Fairy Fire going to save the life of In Your Dream.
Yeah, that's playing on the edge, but you've already hit this point where Phoenix has his soul ring, so he's going to be able to maintain this lane a lot more with his mana. And up top,
there's the tag team coming out. Miracle able to pick up the kill on the IO. Shengxi, he already used the hoof stomp, so there really wasn't much he could have done to save that Rubik.
Oh yeah, and that's a great pickup there for T1. You look at Miracle's last hits, he's doing fantastic as well on this IO. He's finding every single creep he wants. Not much pressure coming out from Shangxi. Not quite what you want to see, but I suppose that range advantage is starting to come into play. It's very low committal for Miracle to just find these last hits. He doesn't need to trade hits. That's Jocam's job, and Jocam, as long as he has mana, doesn't feel fear standing in front.
No, he does not. I'll have to start trying to really control this lane here, Aster.Aries. I'm trying to interrupt this small camp pool coming out. Miracle gonna join in just in case Shengxi wants to try anything funny. In fact, Jocam gonna chase him down a little bit. Does pop the tag team in the end, but there's just no hope in killing this guy. Not quite yet, or maybe there is. That is a lot of damage coming out, but the tag team does wear off. And, that'll be enough. Shengxi actually not opting to go for any points and retaliate.
Yeah, that's a bit of a shame because these guys hit quite fast, but they don't hit for much damage. So to retaliate with, you know, your strength return is going to be nice. There's a lot of value in stopping that chase, but because of that, T1 just gets to do this rinse and repeat. Once you've got level 5 in Miracle, it's going to be a lot harder to fight against higher levels of that charge. And you look back down mid, that's Brood Bomb is really starting to get scary.
Gotta run. Phoenix is going to chase him down and should have the damage and does. In Your Dream. It's a tough lane, right? Like, you got the level 3 Dark Pact and it's... once you've got that many spiders out, it's tough. It is really tough to be able to try and actually burst them down like that.
Yeah, speaking of LWW,
he's going to go for a TP play, but nothing to cancel that TP out, so he'll be just fine. I really wonder what In Your Dream's going to do about this laning phase now. Like, you can't lane this anymore. Phoenix is just chasing him down again. He'll Dark Pact, he'll take a few spiders, and now Polison's going to rotate in. Phoenix going to try and get out. Cookie will land. They don't have the pounce, but they will get a substantial amount of damage off, and In Your Dream wants to keep going. Doesn't have the pounce yet. Can't really afford to continue this chase, but I suppose just zoning out Phoenix on this spider is probably going to be good enough for him.
Yeah, and this is some beautiful plays coming out from Paulson. He's just keeping track.
That was a very close call for Phoenix.
It's a scary spot, and that's why there's a lot of value in this ward for Paulson. Just keeping track of that farming pattern. So it's really important to keep this wave shoved out. I think that's the game plan for T1. Just keep the mid wave shoved out. You don't need to take the tier 1. Just kind of prevent that Brood Bomber from taking your own. And if you can do that for the next 5 to 10 minutes, you're going to be happy. 10 minutes is a bit much. at least the next 5. Don't lose that tier 1 by 10. You're going to be happy enough with stalling that Broodmother's progression that much.
Haru down at the bot lane. I mean, we talked about him earlier, and we, kind of commented on this lane that he's going to have to go through, and he's having a tough time right now. 24-3 on the Spectre. I mean, it's not the worst case scenario, but it's definitely not the kind of farm you want if you are Haru. He is actually going for that Blade Mail build as Miracle. He's actually going to rotate in on the IO already with the Helm of the Dominator up, and that's LWW, who should be going down here and does. Paulson is the one to take it with the Scatter Blast. It's a very early rotation out from Miracle, but why the hell not, I guess? I mean, you got the Dom up.
Yeah, it's really what the core IO is about, right? Run and gun. You've got the drive-by mechanics now. You run so fast. You've got someone to take those hits. Overcharge is at level 2. Once you get that to level 3, you're going to be a lot happier, and you can start melting these towers. So T1's starting to buy that momentum to counteract the exact same play from the Broodmother. This is what the Broodmother wants to get done mid, but Phoenix is forced to kind of just keep his lane in check and just keep farming up. His objectives haven't really melted yet.
No, they have not. Now keeping tabs on him as well. Paulson still sticking around, but there's going to be a Haunt out in Phoenix now with that vision. Wanted to try and chase. Instead, top lane, there is actually a chase on the Tusk, but that's a great snowball away from Jokam. And now in your dream, does TP in, a great chance in. Shengxi tries to stampede, but no, the pounce is there in time. Oh, that has to be the worst case scenario for Aries.
Oh, it's just everything going bad. Stampede wasted, Taunt wasted as well. The only saving grace they get is that does buy Broodmother space to push into mid. So they are going to find that tier 1 early. It comes at a heavy cost, though.
He might die for this. The pounce is going to connect now with the snowball follow-up. Phoenix does get stunned, and now the Walrus Punch.
No.
And while that T1 tower is very, very important, I'm not sure you want to die on the Brood like that.
No, it's still the objective being taken, so the big picture's still looking okay for Aries, but you don't want to really fall behind on this Broodmother. It's been a rather slow start for Phoenix. Like, he's number 2 in that work, which is decent, but you really, when you think of Broodmother, you think of complete dominance in the first 10 to 15. That's not quite what we're seeing yet. Miracle's still up there in last hits, and he's still ready to go, ready to fight with his team.
Looking at Phoenix in that mid lane. Snowball is going to fly in. Miracle going to be there. Phoenix falling low, but he'll be fine to survive. Now, Shengxi going to come along. Shards actually going to block the way, so Jokam is the only one being chased now. Surely they kill off the Tusk. He places a ward. They should know, and they do. And LWW actually just leaves Jokam. And, well, Jokam, he must have known that they were watching him place that ward. It's almost like he places it just for the sake of him being able to get out of there.
Yeah, that's a bigger win. Notice the level of Aries' supports. LWW's at 3. If they found that Tusk kill, that would be enough to accelerate our clock. So saving himself from dying is actually a lot more worthwhile than Vision here, just because you're stalling these supports out from finding that EXP. They are so starved on Aries' end. A clockwork at 3 at 10 minutes in, not a good sign.
Oh, geez, I didn't realize it was that bad. Level 3. Yeah, that's a
nice.
very unfortunate situation for our clock.
You rely on that hook shot, right? You need to set those plays, play with your Broodmother when she's ready to go, set up those kills. Otherwise, you're beholden to Haunt. Yeah, that's just so long, and it keeps getting longer with each patch. They're just trying to clear out that playstyle, but that Spectre is still really popular. So you do have some early pickups, though. Haru does opt for the Blade Mail first in the spec. Not too common. You know, it's still there, but definitely not as much as, say, Drums or Meteor Hammer. We'll see just how much Haru can take. Does have the Haunt ready if they want to play around that.
I believe Haru did build this this item up on his Spectre a couple days back. If I remember correctly, that was a game that he won. So it was quite effective last time around. It does pay off now, as you'd imagine it should be pretty decent up against the Slark, that Blade Mail, but The only time's going to tell is In Your Dream hasn't really gotten involved. And speaking of In Your Dream, he's going Battle Fury.
That's
So are we just building Battle Fury in every carry now? Is that just it? Like, once they started building like Battle Fury Ursa, it was just like, screw it. Anybody can have a Battle Fury now.
Yeah, there was a patch that was like that, but I think in this specific case, it's okay. Mainly because IYD doesn't need to build attack speed. Stats would be nice, but it looks like they're just relying on him to maintain the fight. So the key thing is the IO teeter is going to be really important, although up top...
Sam H going to get caught out. Doesn't really have Poison Nova, so all he can do is spam wards and die. But JoeCam looking to re-engage now. We'll go on to Rico. The one gone. LWW sticking around trying to make sure Haru gets out, but they are just controlling everything. My goodness, T1. A 3-for-1 trade. I thought they were going to leave Sam H to die, but they confidently go in, and there was just nothing Aries could do about it. In fact, relocate now down to the bot lane from Miracle. And he's actually just going to allow In Your Dream to get some flash farming down at this bot lane.
Yeah, and that is tip-worthy as well, of course. Just getting your core in a good, well, your hard farming core in a position to farm more. Aries, with these deaths, especially in that spec, it's not a good look. Like, they are buying space for Phoenix. It should be the other way around, though. It should be this Broodmother dictating the pace, setting the areas to fight under those webs, and we're just not seeing that influence from this Broodmother yet. Phoenix is AFK farming, which is great. It's just, you would rather your Spectre in this position. You want Phoenix to be the one forcing a reaction from T1, and T1, I think they're playing the right game. They're just ignoring the Broodmother. It's not an issue if it's actually not doing anything.
Tell that to the spiders in Australia, John. They are very aggressive. You ignore the spiders in Australia, they'll just attack you. Don't ignore those bastards.
Oh, definitely not. No. Although I believe the Broodmother does remind me of a Huntsman. Those are pretty friendly, right?
Well, I mean, if you want to believe that, John, only you believe that, though, viewers. If you see a Huntsman spider, don't touch it unless you're a professional. Rico gonna get caught out here by JoeCam, is gonna go down In Your Dream. We'll be able to get his 3rd point in the permanent Agi, and he wanted that courier, but instead he sees a spider in the mid lane. So Phoenix gonna have to be cautious. Going back in, but those spiderlings are going to be cleaned up. That's what you call easy money.
Very easy money. A lot of that going to Sam H. It's not like IYD minds. He's just about done with that Battle Fury. So IYD, 14-minute power treads with 1 Wraith Band and Battle Fury. Really good timing on him. And this is just the story of the game. T1, 15 minutes in, going for the mid-tier 1 to even it out, and they do. Still 3k ahead against a Broodmother. This is just not the timings you're looking for from Aries. Now, we have seen Broods go to a slower start.
Haru, yeah, he's in danger. JoeCam just snowballs in by himself for now. LWW will stop the Walrus Punch. And actually, with the Stampede, they could get away, but no, Sam H going to cut him off. Hook shot. Very, very nice out from LWW. He's just all over the place, this bloke.
Yeah, did you see that? He was hookshot. He was hookshotting while Walrus Punch, so he came in at a high angle. The way these spells interact sometimes are just hilarious. But he saves himself. He's
looked like a scene out of Attack on Titan, John. Just
you know what? You're right. Yeah, it did look like they do go around with those claw things, don't they?
Yes, they do. You haven't watched it, sir?
No.
What kind of weeb are you, John?
A bad kind, sir. I don't know, dude. I like slice of life, okay? It's much more chill. Anyway, speaking of defense, that top tier 1, no defense coming out, and Haru's sticking his skin out. Don't want to go too far out for the defense. Our Spectre's still off to a rather slow start. 5.4k net worth. Compare that to IYD, 8.2, Miracle, 7.4. There's a lot of catch-up farm that the Spectre needs, and how much space do you really have when Phoenix is clearing all these camps?
Well, they got the Ags up on that IO, by the way, John.
Oh.
Yeah, there's the Aghanim Scepter.
That's the big one. That's when the damage really flies out, and this is the moment for Miracle to just keep playing fast. You do smoke up around it.
Snowball, mid lane. Phoenix going to get caught now. JoeCam getting a Walrus Punch. And, well, Fun fact, John, spiders don't like fire. Sam H. Gonna get caught out top lane. LWW with the hook shot, but here comes the relocate. Sam H still alive, gets the 4-star pop. They'll have to haunt to get him. Haru needs to take the fight. They do stampede, but the snowball is gonna save the day back into Rico. Can they burst Miracle down? No, the relocate out. He'll be just fine. In Your Dream now, looking to clean up. Gets one, he'll get a second. And Sam H, well, he's dead, John, but he's alive in spirit, as his team does completely wipe the side of Aries.
This is just scary. T1 maximizing the plays they've got, the early spikes they've got with this IO. Now you've got a Slark with 5 stacks of permanent agi just from these drive-by kills. He's going straight into, I believe he has his next item flying out, whatever it may be. Perhaps that Echo Saber coming in. And, you know, just the value you're getting, just the tempo to push this IO as far as it can. And maximize the micro. The roots are making so much work here for T1. You're 7k ahead. Aries?
LWW gonna go in with a hook shot into 3. They do lose the clockwork still, trapped in the cogs. Shang-Chi, no, he's gonna die. In Your Dream, he's hitting too hard. Now Phoenix is caught out on the Broodmother. He can't turn around and fight, he needs to run. Rico, that's a triple kill out for In Your Dream, and Haru gonna get caught out by Jocam, and they're taunting him. Oh no. Man. An ultra kill out for In Your Dream. And by the way, John, I keep saying In Your Dream, but Jocam, this man on the Tusk, he's doing some real work.
Yeah, I mean, every single time Jocam's on the Tusk, you know, it's one of his signatures. It's this, it's the Earth Spirit and the Rubik. And you can't allow Jocam to pick them up all the way back from Boom ID days. He makes the work happen. They take the Roche off of that. Aries, just forcing that fight in the triangle, not the spot you want to be in. Now look, IYD finds LWW.
Get out of there. Hook shot is going to be fine. Phoenix going to surround now. Oh, this is a very sad Broodmother, John. Just has no farm. The Fusel Blade Ogre Club, very close to a BKB, but it's almost like an Alchemist, right? Like, when you play Alchemist, you need to be like 20k ahead of the other team.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of the same deal with the Broodmother. If you're not ahead by a lot, it's not going to mean anything if you chose this hero. He's going to go into Polisson, but he can't even get that. Poison Nova is going to be up from Sam H. Cookie's not going to connect, but Sam is looking to turn back around, and Miracle is here going after Shang-Chi. Here comes the fire with the clumsy net, or rather the ensnare from that neutral creep, and they get the kill. In Your Dream, starting another fight in the mid lane. Phoenix just wants to avoid this Slark at the moment.
Oh man. Aries, their options are growing lower and lower. They've still got the hunt up on Haru, but really just not in a position to make use of that spell. T1, they find a freebie, they keep their ages, they're going to find an objective. And this is against a Brood. Not just the net worth gap, but the objective gap is massive. There's been no progress for Phoenix down mid, no progress in the side lanes for towers, and Haru.
He was there, John. There was a Spectre around that tree line for a second, but T1, they're playing magic tricks at the moment. He disappeared.
Oh, yeah.
Rico's down. Polisson's killing people now in the snap fight. LWW getting caught out with the pounce. Trying to run away. The spirits are following. The scatter blast connects, and it's see you later for our clock. And they are onto the tier 3 towers. What am I watching?
20 minutes. Against the Brood. 20 minutes in. Tier 3 already for T1. 13k lead. A Spectre at 6.6. Below every other core.
That's it.
They tap out.
They have to.
Oh, wow.
There's just no way. You can't come back. Like, you saw Haru and how fast he blew up. Your Broodmother's just... the game's gone. It's like, the Broodmother's all in, right?